Okay, let's jump right into this explainer and really unpack the fascinating layers of existence that make us, well, who we are. Have you ever actually stopped and wondered what fundamentally makes a human being different from the rest of the natural world? I'm not just talking biologically here, but at the absolute core of our consciousness. Seriously, what fundamentally separates you from a rock, a tree, or a tiger? Take a second and really think about that. We literally exist in the exact same physical space, we share the same basic atomic structures, but our experience of reality is just vastly, profoundly different. So today, we're going to explore the framework that categorizes these differences. We'll be looking directly at the source material on universal human values to essentially decode the hidden architecture of nature. It's pretty amazing stuff. So here is our roadmap for today. We are going to cover the 4 orders of nature, define this concept of innateness, also known as dharana, and track it across those orders. Then we'll define natural characteristics, or swabhava, see how that evolves, and finally, wrap up by uncovering your specific human purpose.
All right, Section 1, the 4 orders.
The source material categorizes absolutely everything in nature into these 4 distinct orders. Think of them literally like Russian nesting dolls, where each level cumulatively builds right on top of the previous one. First up, we have the material order, so things like soil, metals, water. Next is the pranic, or the plant order, which encompasses all flora. Then comes the animal order, birds and beasts. And finally, the human order. It is a beautifully organized system of just increasing complexity.
Moving right along to Section 2, defining innateness, which is called dharana. Innateness, or dharana, is defined as an intrinsic quality that absolutely under no circumstances can be separated from a unit. If you somehow try to remove this quality, the unit itself completely ceases to exist in its current form. It's the absolute bare minimum requirement for that thing to be what it is. It's completely non-negotiable. It's kind of like, well, you can't separate heat from fire, right? In the exact same way, you cannot separate innateness from its unit.
Section 3. Let's see what innateness looks like across the 4 orders.
Let's start with the material order. Things like a lump of coal, soil, or metals. Their singular innateness is just existence. Think about it. The atoms in that lump of coal have literally existed since the dawn of the universe. Even if you take that coal and you burn it until all that is left is ash and smoke, the fundamental particles haven't disappeared from existence. They've just changed form. You cannot destroy matter, you can only convert it. So existence is completely inseparable from the material order.
Now, let's see how this builds when we get to the pranic order, which includes all plants and trees. Because plants are made of physical matter, they obviously inherit existence from the material order. But they add a new, totally unavoidable principle to the mix, growth. If it is a plant, it is going to grow and respire. The only way to stop a plant from growing is to cut it, at which point it decays, loses its pranic status entirely, and reverts right back to merely being in the material order. As long as it is a plant, growth is absolutely innate.
Okay, the leap to the animal order is where things get super fascinating. Animals have physical bodies, so they keep the bodily traits of existence and growth. But here, consciousness enters the chat. Animals possess a self, or an I. And the innateness of this conscious I is the will to live. No animal can be separated from its intrinsic, conscious drive to survive. It is totally hardwired into their conscious self.
And this brilliantly sets up the pinnacle of innateness in the human order. Just like animals, our bodies exist and they grow. But look at our conscious I. We don't just possess a basic will to survive. A human being's innateness is the will to live with happiness. We inherently seek out harmony and fulfillment. Honestly, just surviving is never ever enough for us. Our fundamental, completely inseparable drive as conscious entities is always moving toward happiness.
Section 4. Let's define natural characteristics, also known as swabhava.
In the source text, this concept is called swabhava, or natural characteristic. This refers to the usefulness, the value, or the specific participation of a unit in the larger order of existence. Think of it this way. If innateness is your internal hardware, your absolute unchangeable core, then your swabhava is your software. It's how you naturally operate and interact with the entire world around you.
Section 5. Tracking swabhava across the 4 orders.
In the material order, participation is purely physical. The swabhava here is simply composition and decomposition. Atoms combine to form molecules. Molecules break apart. A wooden chair is composed of wood, and over a long period of time, it decomposes. And honestly, that's the full extent of a material unit's participation in existence. It's super basic.
Plants inherit that physical composition and decomposition, but since they are biological entities, they add a really remarkable new layer of participation. They either nurture or worsen other physical units. Think about eating a vegetable. You digest it, which means the plant decomposes and worsens its own form, but in doing so, it actively participates by nurturing your body. That is the pranic Swabhava at work.
Now, the contrast between the conscious participation of animals versus humans is pretty striking. Animals naturally operate on a spectrum of non-cruelty or cruelty. So a cow generally participates with non-cruelty, while a tiger uses cruelty, force, and violence to fulfill its needs. But the human I operates entirely differently. Our natural characteristic, our software, isn't about cruelty at all. It's an incredible evolutionary leap to perseverance, bravery, and generosity.
Let's actually break these down, because this is the absolute core of our value as human beings. Perseverance, or dharata, means staying committed to living in harmony without getting constantly disturbed by external events. Bravery, or virata, and this is key, isn't about fighting. It's the readiness to help others understand this harmony. And generosity, udarata, is our willingness to enthusiastically invest our mind, our body, and our wealth to help others achieve that right understanding. This is what we are naturally designed to contribute to the world.
Bringing it all together, let's look at the complete matrix.
When we bring all of these concepts together into a single framework, the matrix aligns perfectly. The material order has mere existence. The plant order adds growth. The animal order adds the conscious will to live. And the human order tops it all off with the will to live with happiness. And tracking right alongside that, the Swabhava, the participation, moves from simple decomposition to nurturing, all the way up to the ultimate human values of perseverance, bravery, and generosity. Everything is built cumulatively. We are literally the sum total of all these lower orders, plus our own unique, defining conscious traits.
Section 6. Your human purpose. So here is the big so what moment. The crucial point is recognizing this undeniable split between our body and our self. Our physical bodies, they will automatically follow the rules of the lower orders. They compose, they grow, and eventually they decompose. But achieving our true human value, our Swabhava, actually requires conscious, daily effort. The universe doesn't force you to be brave or generous. You have to actively choose to express these traits to fulfill your unique participation in existence. Otherwise, well, you're just operating at the level of a very smart plant or animal.
Which leads me to leave you with this final, hopefully provocative thought. How are you actively expressing your human Swabhava, your perseverance, bravery, and generosity in your own daily life? Are you just surviving day to day, or are you genuinely participating as a fully conscious human being? Take that question with you today, explore your own innateness, and I will catch you in the next explainer.